Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome all of you. This is me, Saim Malik, and today our guest is Miss Noor Alfar. She is all the way from Israel, and I invite her so that we can talk about the situation, what's happening, and what's the worst thing happening all around the world. So first of all, thank you so much, Noor, for your warm uh, struggle, and you are here with us. You give us an opportunity to talk with you, and thanks for your time. Thank you so much for joining us. So, without further ado, introduce yourself so that people may know better about you.
Thank you too much, my brother Sam. First of all, you introduced myself. That I'm from Israel. Actually, we call it occupied lands or occupied Palestine. We never admit by Israel. My name is Noor Alfar. I'm from occupied Palestine in Lud. Maybe a lot of people heard about that in the last situations. I'm 23 years old and I'm studying Arabic and Hebrew in the University of Nablus in the West Bank. And actually I start to read and going in the politics situations few years, and I'm a writer. I like to write and to get my message for all the world.
So, let us know about the situation, what's happening here, and how it all happens.
First, actually, what has happened in the last days and last time in occupied Palestine, we are the Palestinians suffering from that from years. 73 years ago, we are suffering the same situations, bombing and killing. And what has happened in the last time, actually, which bombing all of this situation in all of lands in Palestine, was because Jews going all the time to the mosque Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, and as we know, as a logical religion, mosques for Muslims. So all the time they trying as much as they can uh, to go to this mosque and killing people there, and doing a lot of troubles there, and trying to even to take and attack the children's, and to get the women and hide them, beat them hardly, and to get them out of the mosque. So what has happened to get or to give the message for the world that mosques for Muslims is or are all of the mosques, especially Al-Aqsa, is a red line and a blood red line. And I want to talk also about the steps that we are the Palestinians getting to. We start in one area and then it's become to other areas. It starts in Jerusalem, then in Gaza, and then in the occupied lands. What has happened in the occupied lands, which Jews control it completely, uh, was a shock for the occupation, because they considered ourselves that we are as a people of them, and as a human only for them. And actually that in the religion of Jewish, that they think Arabians, they call it Guim, that we are created, and Allah created us only to survive them, and only to be them people. and they think that they are the stairs, and we are working for them, and we created to work them for them. um, so that was really anger for us, and we can't just watch and crying for our brothers and sisters. And actually I saw a lot of friends I know in the university has killed, and that was really really anger, and that was really sad and sorrow. So actually, that was the plan to start inside the occupied land, because we had the identify of the occupation, which they call it Israel. So there are a few rights that you can't go for these borders, but actually they cut the borders. So actually, what has happened is only a few reaction for all of that what has happened. In accurate Palestine. And actually, what has happened, specific in Lod, was another shock, because Lod, there are minority of people, Arabian people in Lod, and the majority are Jewish. So to be a minority and control the city and get all the settlers and the Jewish out, that was really a shock even for us, the Arabians. It was maybe usual events for us to go and struggle, or maybe just to do a few things in the our city, but that was expanded more and more and more, and get more reactions for us. And of course this reaction was a big beat for the occupation. That's why a lot of settlers coming back to Lud, and they beat us, and they threat us. They beat our parents, all the people, children, attacking, destroying, and then a lot of bad doings for by their hand. And the government of the occupation, government of Netanyahu, was only watching, and they save the people there. And actually, personally, I have a lot of videos behind my window while filming them and making video for them, how they coming to the house, and how they opened the door hardly, and they beat my sister, and my and there is no men in the home. They opening the door and going around and the garden, and no one can stop them. And the sisters are getting protection from the police, while we are just with stones and stones called criminal, armed, struggling for the occupation.
So, my question is about how can the Palestinian struggle against the occupation forces?
Actually, we are struggling by any tool we can find, by firing, and by maybe make a fire inside the wheels of cars, as people see, the stones, simple tools. And the other shock was for them when the weapon get back to them. And the weapon, when we are asking what the weapon doing with Arabians, where are the Jews long time are not saying this, and they ignore the weapon inside. So how it's coming back, how the Arabians with weapon, and if, of course, a minority will not struggle harder and more than the majority. And this was in the history. It was in other countries, Algeria and Vietnam and other countries. So the weapon was from the occupation, and they give that for spices and for teenagers. And they want a group of people to use this weapon unconsciously, to use it wrongly. So what has happened, that everything has become conversely, and the weapon was to them and on them, not for them. as they thought in the beginning. So we struggled hardly by the weapon, yes, but actually that was maybe the last reaction we have, to see your mother, your father throw them, and taking your brothers, killing your friends in front of your eyes. So all of that make a big reaction, and we just looking for, we are just watching what has happened in Gaza, what has happened in Jerusalem. So the way to struggle, the simple tools which we have from years, in 1948, in 1967, 1973, in 1987, and 2000, 2009, 2012, 2014, and 2022. So this simple tools was a terrorist, and I read this word in the media of the occupation, and for Jews they call us a terrorism. So fear terrorism by stones and wheel and fire, and a barrel fire, all of that. So what about the other side? Why to hide our eyes about other side and to ignore all of what they're doing and only looking for the minority which has killed, which has destroyed houses, and actually my house will get destroyed soon. The mayor sent us a message to getting back to any other area, and to leave our house to build buildings for Jews. And actually we asked the mayor to buy this land, our land, and that was really really shocking, really hard. And actually I would describe that, but actually there is no limited description for that. To buy your land, to buy your house, which you grew up inside, that is the criminal. That is the immigration. They want what has happened in 1948. So simply to struggle in any way else, because the Jews had get out of the borders and out of all the system and all of humanity doing and embalming.
Okay, so what is the first name of the last carols?
Uh, as I said in the beginning, the flame was Al-Aqsa, the mosque. It began in Ramadan, in the last month. It's began in Ramadan, and of course Ramadan is a holy for the Muslims. So of course, and usual, and all every Ramadan we do that. We go to Jerusalem. We go to the place where Prophet went to the sky. It's our religion. It's how we are believe. And actually, that was maybe it's make Jews anger to go there and to say as living peacefully for once maybe, and they start to go inside Al-Aqsa in the mosque, and they kill people there. They throw bombing out inside the Al-Aqsa mosque, and all the area around, all of the houses of Arabians around, and no Jewish happened to him anything by the government. The government only see the Palestinians. So people in Jerusalem, of course, they will feel angry, and of course, they will feel sad about the mosque. So they start to collect themselves and to protect the mosque all the time, from the morning until the night, all the time, and even in the Fajr time, you know it. So the forces of the occupation was expanding more and more and more, and that's what has happened. The first flame between settlers, first of all, and Palestinians, and second between the occupation and the occupied forces and the Palestinians. So Palestinians are define both themselves in two ways, I mean two forces: the settlers and the forces of the occupation, and the third, which is hide between them, the government of of Palestine, our government. which it's inside West Bank. So then the people in Jerusalem call Gaza while they saving Al-Aqsa, and the media show that for Gaza, and that start between the occupation and Gaza. Uh, then Gaza asked all of people in Palestine to be together, and yes, we were together. So that was a next step, and dangerous step for the occupation, that we who live inside the country of the occupation, Palestinians who have the identify of the occupation, to struggle and to face the occupation with our brothers in Gaza and Jerusalem.
Okay, so the next question is, what is the appropriate solution for Palestinians' case?
Actually, that this question, and you know that what has happened in the clubhouse, when people mute me, they only want to make the Israeli happy, and the Palestinians know. So they're looking for any solution will be appropriate for the only for one side. Actually, a lot of people who don't live in Palestine and never visit Palestine, of course, will say peace. Of course, peace. A land of two people. No, there is no two people. There is one people, and occupation, as any occupation around the world, in Nigeria, not only in the national of Arabians, any other area in the world, even in Pakistan, and others areas. Peace will be a selfish solution, and maybe it will be weird. Yes, it's a selfish solution. Why? Peace will be only for one people of these two people, which we don't call it a people. If we will look for this solution at the other world, uh, why it's selfish? Actually, if there is one people killed and a lot of them immigrate out of them land, a lot of houses destroyed, there is no people even in Gaza, all of them or most of them maybe killed, or lost family, lost house, work, jobs, etc. A lot of things. There is no life. It will make a years to build another Gaza after all of what had happened, to destroy hospitals in Gaza, to destroy main places, to destroy and even the beach of Gaza, a lot of main places in Gaza. And another side, there is how we call it, to catch the bombing which come from Gaza, to save themselves. A lot of forces. There is army, and we don't have army. Al-Qassam is a group who protect Palestine, and actually I think, and we believe, and logically, it's not only my thing, it's them right to defend themselves. There is no army, and it was instead of army. And they are a group and few people, a few group, or a few people of a group in front of a huge army, a lot of weapons, tanks, etc., and in front of the forces of Gaza and Al-Qassam. So to live in peace actually is very selfish, to look for there and there. Then will be a peace, and what will happen in the peace? All of them will return to them land. The Jewish have his family, his house, and all of his usual life in front of people in Gaza. And I believe and expect, if peace will be real, there is no will be fair, no fair, because Jews will control and Palestinians will get and be controlled by the forces of occupation. So which peace, to live peacefully with people who killed me, and to put my hand in, with his hand Absolutely no. It's out of logic. And I know and believe if all of the world think about that and think that he was instead of the Palestinians will never accept that. That's what why it's selfish to give a part of my house for my enemy, and he can do anything. Why to give him my house? Why not to build other house? You have money and I live here with my family, and hardly I can with my salary. So that's really selfish.
Yes, you can proceed, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry, forgetting. Um, and when I start to talk about peace and the important peace which the world tries and the Jews help the world to ignore this step of peace, to talk about who want the peace and who refuse the peace. Where the Palestinians make it two or more and more, but it's a famous two peace with other side. First one was in 1993, which was in Oslo. And all of the world, of course, know about that. Where the Palestinians made the peace, and this peace was against us, not for us, and we are accepted because it was our acceptable for our government with Yasser Arafat, and we made this peace. Then we see in the world and in the land another peace and another steps, another points. And the peace wrote points, and we see other points. Any anyone around the world can explain for me what the wall between the occupied land and the West Bank, the Palestinians land, doing to build a wall? It is that the peace to even you want me to live peacefully with you and make a border between us. And actually the Palestinians, when they go to the occupied land, they should to show the identify and all of papers of the card to the card and papers about himself and his family, a lot of questions, 2 hours only waiting for response to go to his land, and in front of settlers and Jewish going to occupied lands or even to West Bank to the settlement which built in the West Bank. According to the peace and the Oslo, you could not build the settlement in the West Bank. You have the 78% of land to you, and you coming to share with me my land, the 22%. So that it's out of logic. What is the peace? What is the peace? You said for a fact something and you made something else, which we are suffering till now in 2021. uh, and the second piece was, and that's the most important, in 1995 with Rabin. Where is Rabin now? Rabin has killed. How and why? Who killed him? The Jewish. So who want the peace and who don't want the peace? And actually, now we realized after the 1995 that we can't absolutely live with Jews with peace. According to the suffering, according to our life, according to the and politics agenda and system, according of all of what they happened. And when we were good people, want to give them a part of our land, they killing us. They build inside my house, destroy my house to get his son live. And actually, the peace to look for both of people. A few days, a Jewish lady said, "My son and his dog or his puppy were scared from Gaza and the bombing between them." Really, a puppy and your son, and you have rooms, you have your house, you have protect and survive places to hide yourself inside. In front of Gaza, they leave it, directly leave it. Maybe it's usual for Gaza now, because in 1948 they're suffering from the same problem and the same occupation, the same situation. No electric, no food, no monies, no protection, and even no supporting. A few supporting from Asian countries, and that was from years. And actually, Pakistan was one of these countries in 1967. Pakistan gave to the Palestinians airplanes to destroy another or different places in the occupation, and Iran too. So when we look for this peace, to live peace completely, and other side there is no peace, only dreaming on the peace. They only listen about the peace, and there is no peace. So the solution, and there is only one solution, no more solutions, only there one solution: to return Palestine for the Palestinians. The history proves that the religions, all the religion, and even the Islam and Jewish religion protect and prove that, and all of the religion, all of the logic, all of the situations, even atheists can prove that by themselves, and the theory by how the capitalism was. Is what has happened in the occupation. It's not a capitalism. It's not a way of tourist. It's not a way to scare other people and to share them tools, them houses, them lands. All of what has happened in the history are we are suffering from a lot of years. And if they will not go back to any way they came from, we will stay suffering, and we will stay at the end to make this solution reality, because it's only the one solution exists.
Okay, so what is the rights which Palestinians have under the occupied lands?
About the rights, actually, Palestinians who live under the occupied lands, um, they considered ourselves that we are Israel, and actually in the identify they wrote for us the Arabians Israel. So they forced us and make it hardly for to you to be Israeli. And my mother language is Arabic, and I'm Muslim, and I live in Palestine, and people who live in Gaza and West Bank are my brothers. So how I will be Israelis, and I can't speak Hebrew as Arabic, for example. It's a second language for me. So how can you call me Israeli? So this is the first, only the first right which we don't have, and the main right. If the main right does not exist, so what we are expecting for other rights? Actually, the country, any country around the world, John Locke said that there are three rights for human. It's become with the people, and for human from borning. Actually, to the having anything, land, house, to have, and this right we don't have. We have nothing. And second right, the freedom to live free, and to live whatever you want. And actually, what are the Palestinians? Most of the Palestinians in the jail. So the second right, which come from burning, it's not exist too. And third and last one, to live the life, the right of life, of course, to live and as the way you want, you choose. And we are not living. All of the Palestinians are martyrs. All the Palestinians are under the destroyed houses, the destroyed towers. So three rights, main three rights, which exist in all the countries around the world, it's not existed in Palestine. So what if we will talk about other rights? Uh, in the last events has happened in the occupied land, because they look for us as Israelis. We have identify. We have a passport for them, passport which prevent us to go to Arabian countries, because I have this passport and I refuse it. Hardly I will get it. To make people giving them rights, hardly the right you want and the right you don't want, and you refuse, uh, uh, you will refuse them for them too, even if that will be his dream. We are dreaming of a lot of things which is coming conversely and out of our dreams. So most of the rights are not exist. Maybe the usual right is maybe exist, but we and the Jews in the country under the occupied Palestine are not the same.
Okay, so how the force displacement start and how can the Palestinians stop it? Where the force displacement leads for and what are the results will be?
Actually, we can stop it by only by our hands and by ourselves, and by the facts that the world should to know, and it's the time really to know it and to stop ignore what happened in a lot of neighborhoods. One of them is the Sheikh Jarrah. It's only one of the neighborhoods in Jerusalem and other places and areas and cities in Palestine. Um, and the forced displacement leads for a free for Palestinians, because they will make us more anger, and that will be only for us. And actually, the self-armed to the Palestinians can give them the dream, and the dream will lead the right. The right will lead to the freedom. And actually, the displacement will make another immigration for the Palestinians. What happened this year, 2021, is happened in 1948, and as we were in our place, a lot of people stay in them countries, sorry, in the villages and cities. We will stay there. It only will lead for more power of capitalism, more power for the Zionists, which come from nowhere. And we are the Palestinians pay all of these bills and the blood pills for our brothers in Gaza and in Sheikh Jarrah and Jerusalem and anywhere else. It only will lead for the same point to stay. We are here and to stand powerfully in our country, and will be powerful more and more if all of the displacement will stay. And actually, this important point that world will and should to understand it. If we're talking about two lands, there is no two lands. There is only one Palestine. Palestinians have 22, as I said, percent, and Jews have 78%. And even in the 22%, there is settlements inside the 22 of the Arabians and Palestinians areas. So the world should to show the media for the other side and stop only to show what the Israel suffering, if they are suffering at least. and to look for two sides and to logic. And there is only one fact, there is only one solution, there is only one people, and there is only one land. And we can, it's lead all of that for one dream of people who has immigrate before, killed before, forced before, attacked before, arrested before, and the history only will restart again and again, and will complete on only one way, to show the facts. And this situation of the history, and uh, which began again and again and again, should the world to understand it. It's not coming for no reason, for no purposes, for no goals. There is goals, of course, to show. It's what maybe in the past was a chance to understand. If it's come again and again and there is no chance, and maybe it's a philosophic lesson for the people, when you became guilty or a wrong, you get a wrong step in your life, it will become again. And of course it's happening with us, all of us. And if it's come again, you can't return for the past. It's come to you, your chance to change what you supposed to change before. And that's what happened. Before, you stand with the occupation, you stand with the wrong, and it's the time to look for again, and to look inside you, where is the right and where is the wrong. Don't ignore a part of the story and going for other, the other part of the story which will make you happy and see the world better. No, if you see the world better, there is another side said destroyed, no dreams and no future.
Okay, so Noor, any lastly message or any other thing you wanna share that you learned from all the situation?
Actually, my message, as I said, I don't want to return for same words and same sentences, to know the fact. And actually, as a Palestinian, I'm only 23 years, and I have a lot of dreams, as any young people in my age dream about. And I live part of this situation, and the last situation was not the first situation I lived. Actually, I will share a story, and this story will I don't want to talk about the solution or what will happen, only the story and the conclusion with you. You can look for that. When I was 8 years, 2006, was a war between Lebanon, Hezbollah, and the occupation in the north of Palestine. And I live in the center of Palestine, in Lord City. And I was playing, of course, with my brothers and cousins. And we watched an old man coming for us. He's Jewish, and asked us and he was with a carti, and he asked us if we have the mask of the world, sorry, the mask of the war, to wear the mask of the war, you know it. And actually we said to them, yes, it's with our parents. And he asked us, where is your house? And we told him where is the house exactly. And yes, he went to our parents and took the masks of all the children and for of my parents, and went and never he back, to save his children and his family. And we the Arabians stay, no protection, no mask, no anything can protect us. And he came to the house, knocked the door politely, and took all of our protection, and going away. Until now we are waiting our stuff of saving ourselves from the wars. That one of the story which I lived when I was child.
thank you so much for addressing my question very well. Our support and our humble prayers with you and with all the Palestinians. Thank you so much once again for your time, for your words, and for letting us know about the whole situation. We are surely with you and all the peoples who are struggling with that situation. Thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank you.
we will right back with another guest with another topic. Till then, stay safe, stay happy. Fi amanillah. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. شكرا. Thank you too much.